It'll be 30 years before this information makes it into the textbooks. The implications of this find are absolutely stunning, if you understand what a toroid is. First, I want everyone to see and acknowledge what I have been telling you for years now. The Milky Way galaxy is a toroid. What is a toroid? A toroid is the mechanism that turns an acorn into an oak tree. A toroid is the mechanism that turns a sperm cell into a human being in the womb. The fact that the star is a toroid is what allows it to turn into a black hole so that a galaxy can form at all. Did you know? This is exciting news because what does it mean? Well, it literally means that the Milky Way galaxy is a seed that's going to turn into something else. That the Milky Way galaxy as we know it is not the end product. The Milky Way galaxy as we know it is the prequel to what it is going to become. The fact that a seed is a toroid is what allows it to ascend levels to become an oak tree. Let me show you this again. This is the Milky Way galaxy as I have stated repeatedly. This is the whole universe, fam. Nested toroids I have maintained this whole time. And I say logically because it must be so. There's no other way, and people are like, well, what does that mean? According to logic and reason, the universe is a toroid, the galaxy is a toroid, the Earth is a toroid, you are a toroid, a sperm cell is a toroid, a bacteria is a toroid, an atom is a toroid, a subatomic particle is a toroid. It's all toroids. And a toroid is like unto a seed, so that whatever you're looking at right now, that's not what that thing actually is. Whatever you're looking at is in the process of becoming. What? What's it becoming? Well, that matters what it is now. It matters what it's going to become. A seed of wheat will become a wheat plant. An acorn will become an oak tree. A sperm cell will become a human on this level. And there's no way that there's not an afterlife because we're toroids. And toroids exist to move things up so that they can manifest on a higher level than they began. That's what everything is doing right now, is working on becoming what it's going to be in the same way that a seed is doing that to become a plant. The seed must first grow to maturity, fall into the ground and die, and then it can be born a plant. It's got to endure to the end of what it is first so that the process of the toroidal vortex can complete. You cannot move up from a seed to a plant or from a sperm to a human, except you follow the instructions all the way to the end. Because it is a process, and the process must be completed to spit out the product. So that the Milky Way galaxy is like an acorn. What's it gonna become, boys and girls? Well, Jesus told us all about it. He said the heavens are gonna wax old, and that he'd fold them up just like a garment. Why does the galaxy have to wax old? I've told you this part too. When I say toroid, I mean spring, summer, fall, and winter. You gotta wax old. Entropy is part of the equation of the toroid. But death is only an illusion, you see. A human gets old and starts losing their energy, but where's it going? Winter must come before spring can bloom again. This is just logic. Okay, the Milky Way galaxy is a toroid, which means by nature that it is like unto a seed that is in the process of growing and maturing so that it can die to be born again as something else. It must be so according to logic and reason because, once again, the Milky Way galaxy is a toroid, and that's what toroids do. Because the equation or the process of every toroid, including Sagittarius A, the black hole at the center of the galaxy, is simply birth, growth, entropy, and death. And if you follow the rules all the way to the end of the process, you get to be born again with life much more abundantly, like a sperm turning into a human, or an acorn turning into an oak tree. These examples are very boring now. Old, I've used them too much. You wish he'd give you more examples? Pick what you like, and that's a toroid, and it works in the example. Pick what you want. But why is everything a toroid? Well, look, the distribution of mass and energy is the same to scale on all levels. And what do I mean by levels? Well, from an atom to a bacteria, the ratio of energy to mass on the atomic scale is the same distribution. It's the same ratio of energy and mass on the bacteria scale. It's the same ratio on the human scale. It's the same ratio on the scale of the Earth. The distribution of mass and energy is the same ratio when you're talking about the whole solar system. It's the same ratio with the galaxy or the entire universe. No matter what level of size you're looking at, the distribution of energy and mass is the same ratio every time. When you add to this the fact that the laws of physics dictate how everything behaves on every level, you can understand that everything is just Russian nesting dolls. What do I mean? The laws of physics organizing the energy and mass into the same structure from the macro all the way down to the micro. One kind of structure repeated over and over because the laws of physics dictate how everything organizes and behaves, and the distribution of energy and mass is the same on every level. It literally is Russian nesting dolls. I'm not stretching that at all. The laws of physics organize the distribution of energy and mass into the same structure over and over and over. It just gets smaller from universe down to subatomic particle. It's all toroids because the laws of physics organize the energy and mass into toroids. That is the structure of everything is toroidal. Once more, because the laws of physics organize the energy and mass the same way on every level. It must be so. It is completely logical. There is no argument against what I'm telling you here, unless academic science is all false. Do you see? Bueller? Somebody tell Ben Stein I love him all to pieces. Side quest, I watched this man get Richard Dawkins to admit to intelligent design out of his own mouth of his own free volition. It was hilarious. Well, perhaps if we look at the DNA, we would see some sort of signature. Perhaps some super advanced race of aliens came and began life on our planet with seeds. They themselves having evolved from natural processes, of course. Who seeded their planet, Richard Dawkins? Don't you know infinite regression is illogical? Ben Stein does. Now I say with confidence, as academia chases things I've been telling you for years, they'll never catch up to me, fam. I already know the very end of it all. The equation's already solved. But they're working on it! I already know the whole answer, and it's not a secret. I'm not special. It's been written down in a book for 2,000 years at least. Bunch of books older than that try to talk about it, make a big mess of it, get it all wrong entirely. Only one book tells the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Only one word, his name is Jesus. I don't care what y'all say, this doesn't relate to that. Yes, it does. How you think I know all this? Who you think's telling me all this? Do I hear voices? Nah, this stuff just pops up in my head as thoughts. I say them for a few years, and I wait on science to confirm it so you'll all believe me, I guess. Let me just tell y'all the whole thing one more time. The universe is a toroid. Every structure in the universe is also a toroid, because the distribution of energy and mass is the same on every level, and the laws of physics organize everything into what it's going to be. And it picks toroids. That's what the laws of physics do, is makes toroids out of energy and mass. What are toroids? Toroids are like unto seeds. They are born, they grow, they get old, and they die, which is known as maturing. And if they die, they bring forth much fruit. How? They get to be born again on a higher level, with a much bigger body and higher functions. In reality, the entire universe and everything in it is organizing towards perfection, because that's what toroids do. And if an organism, and every organism is a toroidal by nature, if an organism fails to endure to the end of the process, fails to keep the instructions God has given it, it will perish. But death is an illusion, see? And there is a place for the energy and mass that won't move up, that won't obey, that won't endure to the end, it won't ascend. There is a place for that energy and mass to go. Energy can neither be created or destroyed because it was all finished on the 6th day, and on the 7th day God rested. It's all done. The universe is a closed system, and it happens to be a toroid full of toroids. And this symbol right here explains what the entire universe and everything in it is doing. God creates the darkness, God forms the light in it, and then divides the light from it, you see. The universe is approaching the steady state of equilibrium, where the light will eternally be separated from the darkness forever. And the darkness will still exist, and the light will still exist. And in the light will be all light, and in the dark will be all darkness. And it matters what you believe and do upon the face of this earth, I guarantee it. By all observation, logic, and reason, it must be so. There is an afterlife because we're all toroids. There's no way around that. And there is life after life, and there is death after death, and I'm talking about light and darkness. And it's as real as you can imagine, more real than you can ever imagine, both ways. Eternal light, eternal darkness. Pick one. Everyone is free to choose. I suggest you choose Jesus Christ and his gospel. He is the light.